I've gone door to door, talked to 400 or 500 people. It's been very, very positive. I've had no negative comments at all. As you're aware, I'm not running a negative campaign. I'm focusing on the issues of what I can do for the people of Nye County, for the citizens of Nye County. I've stated I want to run a service-oriented sheriff's office where we serve the public. That's what we do. But the campaign's been very positive and very uplifting to hear everybody come out and support. It's very, very humbling.
Let's speak about humbling. It is humbling to bring yourself to the idea and to the focus that it's a service-oriented organization, because that is really, if you really identify it like that, it's kind of a different way of looking at the sheriff's office, isn't it?
Absolutely. And whether it's, let's say that Deanna O'Donnell calls up the sheriff's office and says, hey, I've got a flood in my house. Well, that's part of our service. We are a public service agency. We might be able to come out and shut your water off. We might be able to direct you to the fire department. We might be able to direct you to a plumber. But we will never, under my administration, say we can't help you. We are service-oriented, and if that means that we go out of our way to do things that are non-traditional law enforcement, then that's what we do.
And I've heard calls like that. I've heard people's pipes broken, and people call up the sheriff's office and say, "Hey, I need, to let you know that my neighbor's pipes are broken. There's water running down the street." I've heard you guys respond to things like that, and some calls, not the usual.
That's absolutely correct. And again, I want to emphasize that my administration will continue the public service orientation that Sheriff DeMayo has implemented. We are an agency that looks to work and partner with the community, not address the community. We are looking to partner with the community.
When a person comes to you and they're having some kind of domestic dispute, something going on within their family, and they look to law enforcement, oftentimes, because that seems to be the majority of your calls, for some help, for some guidance.
That's correct. And our officers are very well trained in providing them the resources that they need to seek that help and guidance, whether it's through a pastor, a minister of a church, through assistance programs that No to Abuse has, or the Nye Communities Coalition. We look to reach out and help. We don't like to just make an arrest, throw them in jail, and walk away, because that doesn't get to the root of the problem. And part of our service to the community is helping people get out of these type of incidences where they get arrested, go to jail, go to court, get out, get arrested, go to jail, go to court. That doesn't help us, it doesn't help the citizens, and it doesn't help society in general.
What do you feel about the Nye County Sheriff's Office kind of doing one-on-one more with the community? I know that the DOS program, the resource officers in the school have definitely made connections with the kids out there. You, with the program with the women's defense classes too as well. Do you hope to have more meetings, more community kind of inviting them to ask you questions, to get more involved with the Sheriff's Office, and you guys get more involved with that?
Absolutely. We have several people that are assisting and coaching, both Little League at the high school. As you're aware, I help coach the wrestling team. We have our state tournament tomorrow. But absolutely, I plan on getting a community liaison officer that you'll be able to call. They'll help you through the criminal justice process if you're a victim. They'll be going out and putting on public seminars, public awareness seminars, to advise people of scams that are going on, frauds, things like that. Again, we are a public service agency, and we're going to enlarge the duties of the Sheriff's Office when I'm elected.
Through grants that you have written for years, and also the resource officers, which you really favor.
Absolutely. As you're aware, I started the DARE program. Next year will be 25 years ago. Myself and Dick Myers, a park ranger from the National Park Service, are the ones who started it. I have authored over $22 million worth of grants that has reduced the burden on the taxpayer, and those grants have paid for everything from personnel to equipment to remodeling substations. So one of the things that public service agencies, whether it's a sheriff's office, a district attorney, if they're funded through tax dollars, we have to look at a way to lower the burden to the taxpayer, because you can only squeeze so many nickels out of a dime.
One of the ways is to get those reserve officers out there on the streets too as well, right?
Absolutely. I'm a big proponent of the reserve program. I started as a reserve in my law enforcement career. I've been instrumental with the Nye County Sheriff's Office reserve program, not just deputies, but dispatchers and detention techs, volunteers throughout the agency. If somebody wants to volunteer, we want to put them to work.
Thank you so much. People can find out more about your campaign where?
They can go to my website. Give me just a minute. And my website.
You're so silly. Look at that big card.
My website is.
Here, I'll ask you the question again. People can find out about your campaign where?
They can go to www.rickmarshallnv.com. Also, I'm available for any phone call that people want to ask me any questions at 775-209-2917.